everyone. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have Adam back for our monthly collaboration. He is going to give us the new moon forecast for, you said June 6th, correct?
Yeah.
And then
hmm
stay tuned because he's going to give us some good news about Fani Willis or Fani Willis, however you guys want to say that. And then he's going to do Trump and his transit, and it doesn't look so good for that guy. So stay tuned. Make sure you watch all the way to the end. But I'm going to turn it over to Adam. He's going to give us a brief synopsis on about his channel, how to get a hold of him, what kind of readings he does, and then he's going to go into the forecast for us. So take it away, sir.
All right, Sheila, thanks so much for having me on for our wonderful, exciting monthly collab. So to everyone out there, if you have not yet subscribed, my YouTube page is Adam Stargazing Astrology. Please subscribe. And I'm currently offering discounted astrological readings of all types. So I am offering transit charts. So if you are at any sort of crossroads in your life, if you have any questions about past incidences or future incidences with any topic of life. We're talking business, marriage, health, finances, travel. Please contact me. So I also offer relationship compatibility charts. I offer birth charts. And I also offer what's called astrocartography, which is basically an alignment of the in a map of your chart in certain lines in relation to where you may want to go in positions of the world. So that's very interesting as well. Alrighty. So yeah, my email is Adam Astro. That's ADAMASTRO 777 at gmail.com for all inquiries. And I do actually have that written down right there in that little box right there. So that is my contact email. All right. So we are going to be starting off with the new moon forecast. So the new moon is going to be occurring on June 6th, which is right around the corner. So this is a real interesting one here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in the sign of Gemini. So this is what we would call a Gemini stellium. And I know that Sheila is very should we say, very tied in with that Gemini energy because she is a Gemini herself. So, Gemini rules brothers, sisters, communications, short trips, and adaptability. So, this is a wonderful time for travel. For all of those who are looking for travel plans, Gemini energy is a great time to do it. So, Gemini is an air sign, air related to the mind and communications, and its mode is mutable. So it's very adaptable. So when we get air with mutability, we think of the guy Quicksilver, for example. We think of the etheric body as well. So Gemini can be restless, excitable, so this is just a really good time to go out there and to get stimulation. The keyword for Gemini is that stimulation. So this is a great time of year for you to do that. Gemini energy is like novelty, change, and very inquisitive as well. So Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, and Mercury is communications and its mind, and the mind as well. So that this is also a wonderful time to perhaps learn something new. Gemini loves learning things. Gemini would be linked to the character Curious George, for example. If all of you remember Curious George out there, always very curious about things and always wanting to learn new things. So this is just a wonderful time for that. So yeah, those are going to be very apparent now. Those Gemini energies. So a couple other things. We have the planet Mars, which represents our energy and our vitality. That is still in Aries. So Mars in Aries indicates adventure, daring, bold, independent, rash, spontaneous. So again, this is also a great aspect for traveling. It's a great aspect for going out there and having some sort of adventure, some sort of excitement as well. So that being said, we might need to watch a little because there's what's called a square aspect going on, or a challenge, kind of a challenging dynamic aspect between Mars and Pluto. So Pluto represents the power structures. So a challenging aspect between these two, they could bring things like power struggles, accidents, and they can also accentuate rash behavior and impulsive behavior as well. So we need to make sure that we don't put the pedal to the metal too strong. You know, that we sort of lean back a little if we're starting to get impulsive on specific things. So the planet Pluto, which represents those power structures, it's in what's called a retrograde aspect now. So the power structures are in review. So we're really seeing that in like the political spectrum examples. Say, you know, people like Donald Trump, he's going through all these trials, which is basically a review of situations that have happened in the past. So Pluto, it's in Aquarius, and Aquarius has to do with the political spectrum. So that is all very appropriate, you know, as far as a representation of what's going on right now in politics. So a couple other things. The sun and the moon on June 6th are going to be conjunct. So they're going to be sitting right next to each other. They're going to be forming what's called a square aspect, or a challenging aspect with the planet Saturn. So this is tests and challenges. This can sometimes lead to pessimism, maybe depression. This could affect the way in which we reach our goals. There can be challenges to reaching our goals at this time. We may feel weighted down by responsibilities. The thing about the square energy is that it can bring challenges, it can bring heartache, but it ends up liberating after a while. There's sort of a push and a pull and a movement towards liberation. So square aspects are very transitory. We have to remember that. So again, if there's any pessimism that comes in, we have to not feel defeated by that and realize that it's very transitory and that it's going to move on. So there are a lot of aspects here indicating what are called semi-squares. So a semi-square creates a little bit of a challenge and a little bit of an obstacle towards something. It's like, I always use the analogy, the pedal to the metal. So the pedal, or excuse me, here is the foot pedal, here's the metal, right? The square aspect is kind of pressing down on that. The semi-square, it's like a little push. So if we use this positively, this could be a push towards working towards a more positive future for ourselves. Square aspects can bring bumps in the roads and challenges. We just have to make sure that we don't make molehills out of small ant piles. So that's pretty much the energy going on. Very etheric, a lot of air, and I would say overall a good time for travel.
Absolutely. Of course, you know, the summertime is a good time to travel because it just feels like it's just easier. You can get to the airport without having to slide off the road. But
Yeah, yeah,
especially here in Colorado.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right. So I actually laid out three cards as you were talking. I laid out the full cup. So the full cup is seeking the Holy Grail, seeking life submissions, great desires, a thirst for more fulfillment in this energy. So as the Gemini is always very, very good at seeking intelligence, seeking the story, just anything that they're very famous for going down rabbit holes because we just want to find out all the way to the end what happened. So we're very good at that.
Uh-huh.
So we also have patience. Patience, your work is rewarding, steady going, plant your feet, unstoppable, great passion. So we also have patience on a lot of that. I do know I have tons of patience. One of my favorite things to do is to wait. Somebody wants to go into the store. I'm like, I'll wait in the car. I absolutely love waiting. I don't know where that came from, but the patience that has come through me, watching people sitting and waiting, just observing, just feeling, just, you know, that kind of a thing. I think that's the energy that's coming in. And maybe that has to do with also Aquarius. Aquarius does that. They're at the far reaches looking in on society. And so they also have that patience of just observant. And I think that's something that the energy is coming in. I also have guardian, which is a fierce approach to finances. So apparently money is in this energy, a fierce approach to finances, where they're going to daring moves, be a hero, protective of your savings and your treasures and stuff like that. So this probably has a lot to do with going into an election. They're going to definitely focus their money on which candidate they want to support. I think this has a lot to do with the energy of just everybody, especially in the United States, is focused on a candidate and supporting them, and financially making sure that everything is appropriated where it's supposed to be. So, what do you think?
Yeah, that
I know.
sounds like that time of year.
It does. It really does. All right. So I'm going to now turn it over to him. He's going to do Fani Willis and give us a little synopsis of that. And like I said, stay tuned because he's going to do Trump. It's. Mm-hmm. All right. Go for it.
All right, so we have Fani Willis, so the district attorney in Georgia, prosecuting Trump for the Rigo case. So there are a lot of people that love her, and of course we all love her. However, she also gets a lot of flack in Georgia because, as we know, Georgia, excluding Atlanta, is primarily Republican. All right, so let me see here. So yeah, so again, people trying to scrutinize her. So she won the majority of the primary for the district attorney again. She's running for the same position. She's constantly facing scrutiny. And the question is whether or not she is going to win, and whether or not things are looking up for her. And would have to say overall, yes, they are, which is fantastic. So I'm going to first start a little with her astrology birth chart, just to give us kind of an overall synopsis of her cosmology. So of course, the first thing I saw was strong Aquarius positions. So those individuals with strong Aquarius positions lean towards politics, the realm of politics. So she has her moon in Aquarius, she has Mars in Aquarius, and she has her North Node, which is her evolutionary direction of progression, in Aquarius as well. So what happens is, so her North Node is in Aquarius, her South Node is in Leo. So Leo is all about taking the center stage. So a South Node stands for our comfort zone. An individual with a South Node in Leo is really comfortable in a position of authority, in a position of center stage, as represented by that South Node in Leo. She's using that more kind of self-centered energy to serve humanity with a North Node in Aquarius. So that is definitely the position of a natural leader, a South Node in Leo. Her sun sign is in Scorpio. So Scorpio is interesting because Scorpio rules the realm of taboos. It rules the realm of power struggles, politics, power plays. So if there is a sun sign associated with all the nastiness, all that dark stuff, it would be Scorpio. She's a Scorpio sun. She has the planet Uranus sitting in a sensitive point in her astrology chart. Uranus is all about change. It's all about innovation. It's all about new wave thinking. So she is an individual which very much represents a new wave. So we definitely want her in again. She has Venus sitting right next to her Mercury, showing that she is very talkative, very strong communication skills with Venus sitting next to Mercury. So what she has in her chart, she has a lot of square aspects, which indicate a real fighter, someone who has a lot of challenges in their life, but someone who is able to rise to those challenges. So not only does she have this lot of squares, but she also has a lot of trine aspects, showing that things also work out for her as well. So she is a dynamic individual with a very dynamic chart. I would probably guess that she's an individual who probably doesn't get a lot of sleep at night, maybe a couple hours, because she is a busy, hardworking individual. Her trine aspects, just a quick summary. Trines represent planets that energies flow smoothly together, harmonious energies. Things come together with trines, natural gifts, natural talents. So she has a lot of those as well. So she's able to utilize her square aspects, which are her challenging aspects that keep that drive and that focus, and then also utilize those trine aspects to smooth things out and to kind of make things happen. So she just has a lot going on in her cosmology. She has a lot of trines with the planet Pluto, which represent power. So whenever you see a lot of Pluto trines in the chart, it's an individual who really can stand in their own personal power. And the planet Pluto is so essential when it comes to politics, because politics is essentially power, and who has the power and who doesn't have the power. So she has the planet Saturn, which represents structure, focus, duty, and discipline in a retrograde position. So Saturn, an individual with Saturn retrograde in their birth chart takes on responsibility and duty very heavily. So she's always thinking about her responsibilities. She's always thinking about her duties, and she's not someone who takes these lightly or who would kind of throw caution to the wind. She's very practical with the Saturn in retrograde, and she's very methodical as well. So that's kind of her in a nutshell. So taking a look at her transit, so those are the planets that are transiting in relation to her birth chart, and they do have influence on the types of energies that are either coming together for her or that are sort of splitting her apart. So what I see is first of all, a lot of sextile aspects. Those sextile aspects create opportunity, windows of opportunity. So sextiles can represent things like meeting new people, making new connections, establishing old connections, things like this. So those are considered positive aspects. She also has positive aspects, trine aspects, which are harmonious aspects to Pluto in her transit chart, just like her birth chart. So this really makes me think that she has an excellent opportunity to win again. She has Jupiter, a lot of positive Jupiter aspects, which represent her faith. She has a couple of oppositional aspects with Jupiter, showing that she also needs to stay kind of moderate with things and not kind of put all of her eggs into one basket. That wouldn't be a good idea with Jupiter oppositions. She has positive Mars aspects showing good energy levels, and she has positive Venus aspects showing that the finances are there and that the popularity is there. So she has mostly very positive aspects. I'd say it's looking really good for her.
I have to agree with you. As you were doing all of that energy in her astrological chart, I literally got the death of the shenanigans.
All right.
Yeah,
Good.
death of ending of the shenanigans, the lies, the deceit, and all of that that's going on, and the strength in the high priestess. So her position has strengthened.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank goodness, because let me tell you, whatever everybody, like even my subscribers, are like, but she has an election coming up. I wonder if it hurt her. Well, as we see now, it has only strengthened her position, and also the judge that they were doing. So, yay! All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, just another quick thing for everyone to remember. So, Pluto, as I mentioned before, the planet Pluto has so much to do with politics, because politics is really all about who has the power and who doesn't. So Pluto represents power. Pluto has now gone into Aquarius, which overall is a little more liberal, a little more Democrat. Pluto is also in retrograde. So those individuals who have overstepped their power, who have abused power, that's what gets reviewed when Pluto is in retrograde. If you have been in integrity, there's not a lot of dirt to be dug up if you're in alignment, and if you're in if you're in integrity and alignment. So
well, that makes a lot of sense about whatever is going on in the political atmosphere right now here in this country. They are not allowing the Republicans to go anywhere silently anymore. It is they're playing the Republicans are literally playing by an old playbook where they could do all these horrible things in plain sight without any repercussions. And now, because of all of like TikTok and social media, which I'm pretty sure they don't like, nobody's getting away with anything anymore.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really fantastic. So I love this age of Pluto coming
Right.
into
Little.
in yeah. All right, so here's the one that we have been waiting for. You're going to do Trump, and I'll throw a
Yeah.
few cards at the end for that too. So go for it, huh?
Yeah. Now we're getting the closing arguments on the hush money case with Stormy Daniels. So this has been going on for a while. And this is, I would consider this a pretty big case. This is definitely one of the foundational cases. Um, and it's not looking good for him. So part of why is that Pluto aspect that I just mentioned, that Pluto in retrograde, things are being reviewed. We know the man has been way out of integrity, so he's kind of getting called out for it. Another aspect as well as kind of right around like coming up like pretty soon here is the planet Saturn, which represents the Lord of Karma. That's going into a retrograde position. So again, wherever the individual has stepped out of bounds, when it goes into retrograde, that gets reviewed too. So that's sort of another kind of slam on Donald Trump that's going to be happening as well. That's another thing that's going to be like, all right, you have stepped out of bounds. Saturn, the Lord of Karma, is now going to review all of your past actions. So that's happening right around the corner here. So for some transits here, so his short-term transits look a little more promising than his long-term transits. His long-term transits don't look good at all. His short-term transits, he has a couple of sextile aspects, which indicate a certain level of an opportunity for something. So I don't know. This could play out in so many different ways. This could play out like anywhere from like just admitted already to like, all right, you've been convicted, but we're going to give you maybe a little smack, you know? So I'm sort of seeing this as something in which he was most likely going to get convicted, but maybe not as harsh as we want, perhaps. So that's kind of the energy going on with him, the short-term transits, but the long-term transits are a whole nother story. Um, he has many more square aspects, which indicate challenge and heartache. Square aspects are dynamic. Just a lot is going to be happening in the next 6 months to a year with a lot of his square aspects, a lot of challenges for him, a lot of obstacles, a lot of things that aren't going to be working out for him. Um, for example, his North Node, which is his evolutionary direction of progression, it's going to be in a hard aspect to the planet Saturn, which is the Lord of Karma. A Saturn square is basically like the school of hard knocks here, right? So that doesn't look too fun. He has some Uranus aspects showing that there could be outbursts. Uranus in hard aspects can also indicate a lot of fluctuations. This could be health fluctuations, financial fluctuations. Um, the planet Uranus, which is all about change, is going to be sitting on his midheaven. The midheaven is the highest point in the chart and it stands for popularity. Uranus is all about change and fluctuation. So this is a big fluctuation in his public image and his popularity. So that is huge. And then he has some not so fortunate aspects to the moon, which indicate his what's kind of going on in his subconscious mind. So the man is going to feel trapped. He's going to be feeling despair. We may see anger. We may see rage. And with these square aspects, we're going to see a lot less ease go on around him as far as him getting small slaps on the wrist. This is more like, this could be more something like maybe a sentence or maybe house arrest, you know, something that's a little more extreme.
I want him, the reason why I think it is because of his punishment is never going to match his apparent criminal behavior.
Yeah, no, it's
Even
true.
if
No,
they gave him 100 years in prison, nobody's going to ever say, you know, he should have gotten 200. You know, that's
I know, I know, I
so
know.
anything that they hand it over, it's not going to be. Nobody's ever going to be. He just needs to go away for good and forever.
I know, I know, I know.
So let me run a few cards on that. Um, let's see what I know that the not the prosecution, but the Trump's lawyers are doing their final right now, and I've been reading a little bit of it and listening to a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their best, but I have the Six of Pentacles of charity. They're hoping for charity. They're hoping for mercy in somewhere, somebody in the jury. But the Queen of Cups, they're looking for, oh my God, they're really looking for somebody there to lie.
I mean, I'm not.
I'm not,
Right.
I'm not, yeah, let's see. They don't get it. They don't get the sympathy and the love and the whatever it
Mhm.
is. Five of, so they're insecure, they're poverty, they're isolated in this, and then the Four of Pentacles, which is restraint and control. So they,
Mhm.
as the jury is listening, um, they're not getting what they wanted. It's a challenging for them to believe anything that guy is saying.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I don't think it's gonna come out very well. I don't know. Let's look into it. You got your cards with you?
I can. Do you want me to go grab one? I mean, I can
Yeah,
go.
yeah, go grab them. Because
Okay,
then
I'll be right back.
we'll do an ending a reading on his punishment together.
Okay, cool. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, poor Trump.
Okay. So Adam has cards and he's going to do a reading with me. See how I turn everybody into a political reader?
It's that moon in Aquarius you have.
It is. It truly, truly is.
I'm Pisces. It's Pisces a little more kind of like, I'm just daydreaming of Hawaii.
Yes.
Can't we all just get along?
My daughter's a Pisces, so yeah, I definitely would. I see her whole thing is the everything is wonderful, everything is good, but there's clothes on my floor. What clothes? What? There's no clothes on my floor.
Negate everything that's not beautiful into
Yes.
my, because Pisces is really idealistic. Aquarius is very idealistic as well, but but the idealism is more related to like a little more practical.
Yeah, we kind of ground it and say, nope, that's not it.
Exactly. Around the idealism. Pisces is just idealism.
All
But
right, so let's do a you do whatever you want to do, but how many cards do you want to pull for this guy? Pick
how about
pick a
three?
number. Three? All right, let's do three. Three numbers for his punishment. Because the judge already has a plan. He
Mm-hmm.
has to have a
Mm-hmm.
plan
Mm-hmm.
of what's going to happen. So what do we have here?
Oh, okay.
Go for it if you got yours. Oh man. I have to do clarifiers underneath mine. So
All right. Mine were pretty clear.
go for it.
So the first card I got was the Magician reversed.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I see here is manipulation, insecure, poor planning, uh, untapped talents, lack of confidence, and narcissism. Hey, there you go.
Is that what the judge is
Uh,
seeing, or is this what? Because this is supposed to be his punishment. So what would that card relate to Trump's?
yeah, yeah. So what I'm very much seeing here is that so this is reverse, right? When you get this right side up, the magician can work wonders. This is what he used to do. He had everybody in a hypnotism, including the judge. But times have changed, and now it's like you you know I remember in elementary school we had these bears, these little bears that were on pins, and if you got in trouble, the bear got flipped upside down, and it was like, oh, your bear got flipped upside down. So this is kind of like Trump's in kindergarten, and he's in trouble. So now it's reversed.
All right.
Yeah, so I very much see that. And then what's interesting here is we get the card. This is very much to me. So the Four of Cups, this very I'm sorry, the Four of Swords. So this very much represents the like a rest, a reflection, a solitude, and needing to kind of like look within. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like a very like self-reflective. The judge sees this, right? Like, oh, you no longer have your magic, and then it's like, ugh. So this shows me that on some level things are hitting him deep. We're not gonna see our personality's not gonna see that because we're too busy like meh 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 meh. But on some level, things are gonna be like they're gonna hit him at the gut level, right? And we're gonna see him maybe acting out where he just wants to sleep, or maybe not want to show up. We'll see him act out in the million and one ways, but this is what's going on behind that. And then the final outcome I got was the moon reversed. So that's really intense because the moon stands for the subconscious, right? The inner mother, the dreams, the emotions, the psyche. I mean, the moon right side up already has to do with things like fears and werewolves. The moon reversed is like that on steroids. Wow. So this would indicate to me that like the man probably like is full of night terrors. Things like this, nighttime can't be a happy place for him. He has to be having one nightmare after the next if he ever sleeps at all. So let me see it. Releasing fear, so repressed emotions, inner confusion, misinterpretation, darkness, insecurities. I mean,
yeah.
His shadow is like swallowing him whole. Basically, it's like a Disney movie at the end, right? Where everything gets all like, like at the end of Aladdin when what's that, Jafar, what's that, becomes like a snake and it's everything like this is sort of like things are coming to like that culmination here.
What a great analogy as the Disney movie, because in any Disney movie that we've ever, the villain always loses in the end in Disney.
Yeah, totally. I know.
So that's great. What a great analogy for that. All right, so those are absolutely wonderful cards. I did 3 cards, but I put clarifiers underneath each one of my 3. So I got the first one. My first one was the star, and the star was reversed, which is despair, disappointment. You know what I mean? He's not the star anymore. And I got the two of Pentacles, like the Two of Pentacles, that decision and them seeing him as not the star anymore. It goes along with your reversed Magician, which makes complete sense. That he can't throw his magic anymore. He can't do any of that. And then I literally got Judgment, right? And then what he's doing, and Justice right underneath Judgment. If those 2 cards that we could end the world with are these 2 right here, are what his punishment is going to look like. Unfortunately, like we said, nothing's going to be ever enough. So that's why our cards kind of come up with nobody's going to really like any of it. I also the two of Wands. Now the Two of Wands also came out reversed. Personal goals, fear of the unknown, lack of planning. Again, lack of planning, like you said. His court case just did not work out very well. The lawyers just didn't know what they were doing, and the jury saw it. The jury saw the lack of crap they were doing. I also got the Four of Cups. So this is the missed opportunity and the remorse and the regret. His punishment, I think missed opportunity, that could be where we're seeing that he doesn't get as much as he should, or the judgment or the punishment. We're all going to go, oh, really? All of that. We just don't know what it's going to look like. But we also have, the card saying that this judge is literally making a decision that nobody has ever made in this country, ever, by putting a president in jail or in punishment. I can't imagine the pressure this judge is under, to be honest with you.
It's a big one. And I mean, that's really why I know we're like all exhausted about talking about Trump, but this is enormous just in time for this Saturn in retrograde, of course. And yeah, this is the potential for like another level of evolution of Trump.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how our country deals with rogue presidents. This is truly how we're going to see how our country deals with rogue politicians and rogue presidents.
Yep, 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 yep.
It could break us or make us.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this is big. Yeah, whether or not they're
Huge,
gonna let him
huge.
get away with it. Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope you made it to the end. I see Adam delivered. I absolutely love how you read cards.
Thank you.
Yeah, so maybe we should do just one day after our collaboration, just get together and do just the readings because
Fantastic.
You read really, really well. So
Thank you. Thank you.
another talent of yours. All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.